Galileo meets prickly pear cactus. Today on Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday. Yes, a rare Wednesday shave here at the ranch. And we're on day 4 of our 2 Spaniards, 2 Italians, and a flamenco dancer. So today we're talking about how Galileo is going to meet cactus. Well, what we're using today for our soap is Opuntia by Saponificio Veracino. Now, Opuntia is the genus of the prickly pear cactus, which we have tons and tons and tons around the Southwest. So it's kind of a cactus-related theme. The razor we're using today is a collaboration between Thier Scissor, who made the razor, Saponificio Veracino, and this is number 3 in the series, and this is the Galileo Galilei. Now, this is kind of it's a 6/8, but it's kind of an adjusted barber's notch. It's not really an adjusted, kind of a mashup between a barber's notch and a French point. So really, really nice razor. Beautiful, beautiful scales. Very heavy. This is the heaviest of the razors, except for the 14. Sticking with the cactus theme, we're going to be using the Gray Dog Tucson. Now, this is stabilized cholla cactus, and this cholla came right off the ranch here, and it's been stabilized. One of my favorite razors, and it's got a Maggard super high density badger knot in it. And then, of course, for the aftershave today, we'll be using the Opuntia from Saponificio Veracino. And then sticking with the cactus theme, we're going to be using the Demeter Saguaro Cactus Cologne. So we'll see what happens here. Hope everybody's doing good. I know everybody's probably preparing for the Thanksgiving holiday. So your kitchens probably all smell real neat. Or if you're doing some prep work or shopping before, I would not personally want to be going to the grocery store today. It's going to be nuts. So it's kind of weird for me to be here doing a shave on a Wednesday because normally I'm at the shop. But taking a little bit of time off for the holiday. We're not going to be cooking tomorrow, so we probably won't have a lot of leftovers. We're going to some friend's house, but we are charged with making the deviled eggs. And we're in our drink. If you saw our Drinks and Dave show, and you can replay that, and it can also be a podcast. We talked about Thanksgiving tradition, Thanksgiving foods, and all that. And something that was mentioned is when it comes to the deviled eggs, is instead of the standard, deviled eggs and then paprika or no paprika, horseradish or no horseradish, but somebody came up with the idea of maybe garnishing the deviled eggs with capers. So we're going to try that. And also we talked about smoked deviled eggs, and I'm going to be smoking after I boil the deviled eggs and everything. I'll be smoking those out on the grill. We're going to do 1 dozen smoked deviled eggs, 1 dozen with capers, and 1 dozen with just your standard traditional stuff. Typically of Saponificio Veracino, just a wonderful, wonderful lather. The Opuntia I have not used in a long time because most of the time I've got all the scents except for the new one, Argania, but I end up grabbing the 70th 90% of the time because I just love it. But this is wonderful. Okay, I have only shaved with this razor, I believe, 3 times. And typical of TI, it is a singer. But I got to be careful of this point because even though it's a barber's notch, that tail end point is not muted. So this could be an earlobe killer if you're not careful. Again, all about the situational awareness. The razor was stropped 30 and 60. However, I have not rehoned this razor, so this has got the factory edge on it. Now, what I did do, however, is I spent an hour or two on the super curve or convex balsa strop, and then an unknown number of laps on the convex bench strop. Because I know that factory edges can be hit or miss. TI has always done a fairly good job, to me anyways, with factory edges, and I just refine them usually on an arc, translucent Arkansas, or in this case, on the convex balsa and bench strop. And so far, it's actually working good, just as is. I'm sure at some point I'll probably put a cauticule edge on it, or maybe a full convex or concave edge, however you say it. The super curve is probably what I will do eventually, just so I have one that's completely fully honed that way. Now, that's not something I will do. I will send that out. Like the Leonardo da Vinci, this razor shaves a lot bigger than its advertised 6/8. It definitely shaves more like a 7/8 razor. But a joy to use. It's a fun razor. So if you're traveling today, I hope you be safe, and I hope everybody has a very joyous Thanksgiving. We are going to be doing a shave video on Thanksgiving, finishing up with Sevillana and the flamenco dancer. And for a TI, this feels like a much heavier grind. It is a full hollow, not a full bellied hollow, but a full hollow. But it does feel on the face a much heavier grind. A lot of the discussions on the shaving cadre have been recently centered around synthetic knots, and I think there's a good portion of us that have moved to where our daily drivers are synthetic, and we save the Badgers for The weekends are a special occasion, but I will say this super high density knot from Maggard's is wonderful. It lathers easy. It releases the lather really easy. Some of your higher quality badger knots are packed so dense that sometimes it's real hard to get them to release the lather. Or conversely, if you think you're not getting good lather, you add more water and then you completely blow out the lather. So, and I would say the Sabini knots can be that way. Even some of the Paladin knots can be that way. Any of your really, really dense packed high mountain. The high mountain Manchurians don't seem to do that as much. And I know a lot of that is factored based on loft and fiber density. But once you dial in the premium knots, they're amazing. But again, the synthetic knots have gotten so good that it's a grab and go. I mean, it's you don't have to soak it. You wet it, you go, and they feel wonderful. They rinse easy, and it's really easy to dial in your lather. And you'll always get a consistent lather and a consistent feel from those knots. Plus, if you're into it, they are a little bit more environmentally friendly. And I think I may have cut myself, because as I was talking, I set the blade down without having it moving. Nope, it didn't. At least not yet, anyway. That's why you always got to be careful. Now, what I do like about this thumb notch, or this barber's notch, is it fits real well. And it's, like I said, it's not a standard barber's notch, but it fits real well. And it makes it very easy to keep the blade stable on the fool's pass. All right. Just a wonderful shave. Let's see how much cleanup we have. I think I was a little heavy-handed in the chin area. Perfect. Well, like I said, as always, in the nickel area, there's always a little bit of cleanup, because my whiskers there grow like a crazy hurricane. You know, as a barber, we talk about calyx, and that's where on your head the hair will grow in the opposite or in multi directions from the traditional hair growth. And those you have to be extremely careful with cutting, because what a lot of barbers will do is they'll say, okay, I can't style it, so they'll cut it short. Once you cut it short, it's over. You have to wait for it to grow out. So it's better to just leave it alone, leave it long, and blend around it. Well, believe it or not, the same thing happens on the whiskers in your face. And people have, you know, that's why for me, my against the grain pass is actually most people's across the grain. And a lot of people will be doing their shave, and they get done and they find they've still got some whiskers hanging around, and they'll get upset thinking that it's the blade. And in a lot of cases, it's not. We call them whorls, but it's really just a cowlick on your face. And so you just have to find the right angles and so forth to figure out how to get that done. And that's where I do the right here, because I have two whorls right here that are always a little bit of a bear to get. Whoops. A little bit of lather on the alum. Yeah, right here where I touch down, I get a little bit of sting, but nothing crimson. But other than that, hardly any at all. I mean, I always expect a tad bit of sting from the alum, because you, like I said, you've abraded your face. Also, if you are a straight razor shaving with either a shavette or a good straight razor, make sure you dry the blade real well. And also, where a lot of people forget, and that's where they get some tea staining and some isms, is in between the scales. Just take a little bit of toilet paper and dry that out through there. It'll save you a lot of hassle polishing things up down the road. Just a beautiful pre-Thanksgiving shave. Today, to kind of keep with the cactus type thing in green, we're going to be using Quinn's cucumber. This is really, it's cucumber, I think it's cucumber and mint, I believe. Yeah, but it has the fragrance of the prickly pear fruit, which is kind of it's a very red, dense fruit. A lot of people will compare it to like a watermelon flavor. I don't find that. I find it almost like a little bit of a minty berry, if that makes sense. You guys didn't see the knot when it's completely splayed out, but it's huge, and that's the super high density knot from Maggard's, and that's a wonderful, wonderful knot. Just a wonderful shave, very hydrated. And that's the one thing, you know, quality soaps make the difference. And we're going to be using a Puntia. Now, these bottles, I think I've mentioned this before, these were the original barber bottles. So in other words, you had to be a licensed barber to order these from San Bonifacio Veracino, but they were so popular that nobody could get them but barbers, and so they made them their standard bottle, and they're wonderful. One thing you will have to do, though, is save an old Clubman or any type of your plastic aftershaves that you actually decant into glass. Save the toppers, because these don't, the restrictors that come with these are not restricting at all. So you can just take, like this one, I believe is a Clubman topper, and it fits perfectly, and it gets you just what you need. Wonderful stuff. Let that dry down for a bit. So yeah, if you haven't tried a Puntia yet, do it. It's good stuff. And it's all naturally based alcohols and so forth. Last minute audible. We're going to use a little bit of a spicy talc today. We're going to use the Yardley Gold. Which just goes perfect with everything else in this shave. Oh, wonderful. This is definitely a DS BBS shave. Just absolutely perfect. And then what we're going to use is we're going to use Saguaro Cactus. This is a little tester bottle, but it's basically the saguaro bloom, and it's nice. Just adds a little bit more of that cactus smell to it. All right, kids, that's it. Well, again, I hope everybody out there has an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, safe, and joyous Thanksgiving with family and friends. Here at the channel, we're sitting at 1160, so 40 more, and we'll be giving away something really, really nice. But aside from that, come visit us at the Shaving Cadre. Come visit us at Drinks and Dave's. And on behalf of my channel, the Shaving Cadre, I want to thank you for all your support. It's really, really appreciated. We've had a wonderful year so far. So again, I have a lot to be thankful for this year, especially with everything that's going on in the world. We need that break to be with family and friends. And to all my friends out there, I love you guys. I may come across sometimes as kind of ruffian around the edge, or rough around the edges, but I really, really care about each and every one of you. As far as my subscribers, thank you so much for all your support and all your ideas for shaves and so forth. And then, of course, to my family, I love you. And I hope everybody, again, has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. But we're not done yet. We're going to see you tomorrow. We're going to spend some time with a flamenco dancer. Have a wonderful day, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow.